Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all here in this session at TNV Academy. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our eminent speaker, Mr. Ajit Singh from Lucknow, India today, who is going to talk to us about anti-bribery management system, or we can say ISO 37001. This is a topic in which we should all be deeply interested as anti-bribery management system is now widely used in every organization. In this webinar today, Mr. Singh will discuss this topic in detail along with some real life examples he has experienced in the industry while coming across the situations arised in using the ISO 37001 standard. Our distinguished speaker, Mr. Ajit Singh, is a qualified company secretary and has done his graduation in Commerce Stream from Lucknow University, India. He has an industrial experience of around 12 plus years in training and auditing of sectors such as ISO terminologies, construction, manufacturing, production, and Six Sigma. He has been imparting training to a number of organizations, entrepreneurs, and individuals on various topics related to ISO terminologies, their certification and implementation, and management system standards. He is also a lead auditor in ISO 9001, 14001, 45001, and 27001. It was just a brief introduction of our guest speaker today. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Ajit Singh. I may request Mr. Singh now to please start the session on anti-bribery management system.
Thank you, Mr. Apur, for my brief introduction as well as the current topic which to be shared. Thank you so much. I thank TNB Academy for giving me this opportunity to come on a web platform to share the knowledge and the experiences on the anti-bribery management system, which is given in the ISO 37001-2016. As stated by Mr. Apur earlier, that today's discussion would be focused on the what is the anti-bribery management system, what is the benefits of anti-bribery management system implementation in an organization, and how it affects your organization, how the bribery affects your organization. So let's start our discussion through my PPT. Our main topic is ISO 37001-2016, which is known as anti-bribery management system. First, before we start the session, I would like to know more in details that what is the anti-bribery management system, which is also enabled in ISO 37001-2016. My friends, ISO 37001-2016 is a new international standard which is designed to help the organizations to implement an anti-bribery management system in the organization. This standard specifies a series of measures, series of controls to the organization, which helps to prevent, dictate, and address the bribery which is going on in the current organization or in any within the organization. Now, come on the next slide. ISO 37001-2016, which prescribes various measures, control tools for the anti-bribery management system. Focus certain areas where bribery may exist, may not exist. Basically, this standard focus two key areas, which is as bribery by the organization, its personal or business associates for its own gain. Second, bribery of the organization, its personal or business associates in relation to its activities. Under both two key areas, all the bribery is happening. First, bribery by the organization, its personal or business associate for its own gain. It means it's within the organization there are certain types of bribery is happening, which may be department to department, which may be intra department, which may be inter department. But this is internal key areas where bribery is happening. Now come to the second point, which explains that external bribery, which any organization, any external person giving the bribery to complete the work which the person or official or staff is assigned to do their duty. This is second key areas is the external key areas where the bribery is happening. This is in relation to the activities. Activities means the organization staff, yeah, in case of government staff, he is required to do their jobs, their duties, where bribery may not happen. How it can be controlled, these control measures has been defined, yeah, specified under ISO 37001-2016. If we come on the major scope of the ISO 37001-2016, maybe bribery in the public, private, and not for profit sectors means NGOs, societies, etc. Bribery by the organization's business associates acting on the organization behalf or for its own benefit. Bribery of the organization business associates in relation to organization's activities. Bribery may be direct, may be indirect bribery. Bribe offered or accepted through or by a third party. It may be direct, it may be indirect. This standard sets out the requirements and provides guidance for the management system for the to remove, to control the bribery which is going on in the organization, in any government organization. If we now come on the next slide, where we focus is ISO 37001-2016 is the right or beneficial for your business. This is explained in 37001-2016. This standard says that the standard is flexible and can be adopted to manage many types of bribery and suits a wide range of organizations, including large organizations and enterprises, small and medium sized enterprises, public and not for profit organizations, non government organizations, and charities. But if we talk about the bribery word, then it's mainly applies to the government sectors. Various types of briberies are happening, which is directly or indirectly. Now come to the next slide. Under this slide, we are going to explain you what is the benefits of getting the certification under ISO 37001-2016, which is anti-bribery management system. What are the organization benefits by getting implementation of this standard? By implementing this standard, the organization can prevent and dictate the bribery in the system, in the process where it is happening. Second point, it improves the anti-bribery performance of a company by implementing a tools, measures, controlling, advice in the standard practices. You may quote, you may brief out the examples of anti-bribery controls in the organization to control the bribery within the organization. Second point is demonstrating compliances to the relevant legislation such as Bribery Act 2010 2010. By implementing this standard, then the organization would be able to comply with the rules, regulations provided under the Bribery Act 2010. Second, main and major benefits the organizations can get can ensure that their suppliers, subcontractors, and agents are committed to anti-bribery best practices. This is the brief benefits of the certified ISO 37000-2016 anti-bribery management system of a organization. There are many benefits, several benefits which the organization can avail, but this is the brief. Now come to this next slide. So I have to explain more without this. Now we can explain that why 37001-2016 is a business enabler to the organization. We can say that ISO 37001-2016 is a flexible business tool that can be adopted by any organization, which may be large, which may be small, in any country, regardless of the business type or bribery risk. Demonstrating anti-bribery efforts to control bribery and corruption risk are crucial to the practicing and organization reputation and brand value. It means if in your organization, if you control the bribery and corruption risk, then the organization brand value would be increased by knowing that this organization is an anti-bribery organization where bribery cannot be motivated. Compliances with this standard ISO 37001-2016 can be a key market differentiator when used to minimize the risk of unlawful behavior and showcase an organization's dedication to ethical practices. By implementing this standard, organization can adopt the ethical practices which increases the brand value of the organization. ISO 37001 certification is a valuable credential that can build customer and investor confidence in the organization's integrity and credibility. It means if your organization has been certified by this standard that your organization is a anti-bribery management system has been awarded this certification, then your investor have a good confidence in your organizations, organization integrity, organization credibility will increase automatically. It's very important standard for any organization. If we talk about the bribery, then we talks about the government. Maybe major bribery is happening in the governments, but it's not as sure. 37,001-2016 is a new international standard, wherein several types of control mechanisms have been devised, which where the bribery is happening. By identifying the briberies, they can control it, they can manage it. So ISO 37001-2016 is a very important standard, which also increases the investors' confidence on the organization's integrity and credibility. Thank you so much. Now come to end of the this session, and I hope I was clear enough to make you understand the ISO 37001-2016, how it's important for an organization, how the organization can take the benefit by getting the certified under this standard. Now, I will invite any questions, any doubts, any queries on this.
Sir, one question is it
Yes,
possible to integrate ISO 37001 with other management systems?
yes. Uh, ISO 37001-2016 is a very flexible standard, and it is also very similar to the quality management system. Means if your organization it is compatible with the ISO 9001, ISO 14001, you can implement this by this implementing of ISO 9001-2015.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I have a one question.
Yes, sir. Please.
Sir, can you please define what is the role of governing body in anti-bribery management system?
Yes. Role of government bodies in anti-bribery management system. Okay, I may
Governing body, sir, it's governing body.
governing bodies.
Yeah, right.
Governing bodies in anti-bribery management system, in the standard there are a committee has been defined that in any organization the organization shall define a governing body of persons which will take care the anti-bribery systems which anti-bribery systems which organization implement as defined in the ISO 37001-2016. Means there would be the core committee, number of senior staffs, and whose phone numbers and etc. shall be given in the that documents. In case of any emergency, in case of anything, that can be contacted for this.
Sir, one more question.
Yes, please.
Is ISO 37001 is applicable for any of organization or a specific sector of organization?
No, its scope is very wide and clear, and it is applicable to all. Anyone can take the benefit by getting the certified under this standard, and it's like a general standard and very important standard for any organization.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Does anyone else has any questions?
Yes, Mr. Poor,
Yes, I assume.
you may ask any question, any other question. Otherwise,
I
we
assume
may close
that
it.
none of the participants has no more questions to ask. So we have now come to the conclusion of this particular webinar. I thank you, Mr. Ajit, again that you have invested your time and effort for making this webinar successful for TNV Academy. The points and the knowledge which you have shared on ISO 37001 was very beneficial for all of our participants. And I hope that all the participants have been benefited by the knowledge and points that you have shared. I cannot thank you enough for your time and effort which you have given to us today out of your busy schedule. I hope to see you again with us with an exciting new topic. And I thank all the participants for being an integral part of this webinar as well.
Okay. Thank you, of course.
I thank you so much. I now request all the participants to please leave the meeting. See you soon again with TNV Academy. Thank you so much.